Yeah. Question is, what are your thoughts on universities now providing courses on Islamic finance? I suspect that most of the courses offered by universities are not authentic, traditional Islamic law based courses. I suspect that they give a superficial understanding. They deal with contemporary finance issues, perhaps giving contemporary fatwas and providing some of the justifications or explanations behind them. Whereas I think if someone really wants to specialize and get a deep understanding of Islamic finance, they need to study the basic concepts and principles of Islamic law first, then study this classical formulation of Islamic finance from traditional texts before coming to then apply to the contemporary situation and contemporary financial instruments that need to be analyzed. What do you believe is the main difference between conventional banking methods and Islamic finance? As some people believe that Islamic finance is only different in theory and is simply a name change or is window dressed. What are your thoughts on this? In true Islamic finance, which I'm not sure is available at the current time, the investor would share in the risk along with the borrower. For example, someone with capital may invest in a project. He may enter into a mudaraba contract. He may enter into a mudaraba contract, supplying finance to the agent. The agent will carry on trade and business using that capital, but the investor will share in the risk. In other words, if the agent ends up losing money or becoming bankrupt, the investor will also lose that money. And I think this is one of the fundamental difference between so-called Islamic finance and Western or capitalist finance as it exists today, in which investors do not want to share in the risk. I'm assuming that you bank with an Islamic bank. Incorrect assumption. If so, which bank do you bank with and how long have you been banked with them? As I said, incorrect assumption. Do you believe Islamic banks would become a viable competitive alternative to conventional banks in the UK? I believe the current Islamic banks are all fall within the sphere of the global capitalist economy. Do you believe there is a difference between the 100% orthodox banks and conventional banks that offer Islamic banking services? I think possibly answered that question already. It is said that there is not enough awareness and promotion on Islamic banking. What are your thoughts on this? And what do you think can be done to improve promotion and awareness? I think there's a massive amount of publicity in the pushing the so-called Islamic banking at the current time. In your opinion, what do you believe attracts people to Islamic banking, both Muslims and non-Muslims? I guess some Muslims believe that they will be compliant with Sharia if they enter into contracts with Islamic banks. Why do you believe that Islamic banks have survived the recession well compared to the conventional banks? Was there a recession? Do you recommend and suggest others to bank with Islamic finance? I think that's a broad question and difficult to answer. If there was true Islamic finance available, then I would suggest that people should partake in that, but whether there is or not, I'm not sure. Thank you very much. Assalamu alaikum.